Enter, stranger.
Ultron, defender of the universe. By the power of Grayskull.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another Back to the 80s podcast video with myself, Dreadwind's Ghost. A week ago, nearly, we posted or said on the podcast, name your top 5 good cartoon characters, your top 5 best cartoon characters, because obviously last week we did the 5 most annoying ones. This is my personal list. It's not been an easy list to compile. It might seem like it in the end, but actually you've got to rack your brains for a few of them. But cracking right along, at number 5, we have Mumm-Ra, the Ever-Living. Mainly for the fact that he actually seemed like a threat. A lot of 80s villains, in cartoons especially, didn't seem that threatening. I'll give you Skeletor, Hordak and all that group. They didn't seem that scary. Mumm-Ra changed that because he's scary as hell. And his only focus is to destroy the Thundercats. And by destroy, I mean kill. Whereas like Skeletor and that, generally just wanted to shunt He-Man to another dimension, or, you know, make him powerless, rather, because they didn't like to say the word, you know, destroy or anything like that. But Mumm-Ra was different. Mumm-Ra was an actual threat. And after they took away his fear of looking at himself, because that is quite frankly the lamest weakness I've ever heard in my life, he actually became even more of a threat, and the fact that the ancient spirits of evil finally got tired of him not getting rid of them, which I thought was a masterstroke. At number 4, we're looking at Bravestar. Bravestar is an awesome character. Out of all the Filmation stuff, Bravestar the cartoon is my favourite. Mainly because of the main character, because he's good. At the end of the day, he's just a man. He does have his powers of Hawk, Wolf, Puma and Cougar, whatever it is. No, Bear, that's the one, Bear. Why did I forget that? But at the end of the day, he is just a guy, and he's just a sheriff. You know, he's not the most powerful man in the universe. He's not, you know, the greatest thing ever who will save the whole universe and the world. At the end of the day, he is just one guy against quite a badass force. In Stampede and Tex-Hex. Again, it's Filmation, so Tex-Hex was never really that much of a threat, even though Stampede was. But at the end of the day, yeah, Bravestar, damn cool character, really, really like him. And everybody usually goes for 30-30. I love 30-30, but I like Bravestar better. Plus, he was the first Native American character ever to get top billing in any show. Obviously, before they'd sort of been sidekicks, like Tonto, but he was actually the main guy, the main dude. So I always like Bravestar. Number 3, interesting one this, Garfield. Yes, he was created in the late 70s, but the cartoon itself, the actual TV cartoon, was in the 80s. Voiced by Lorenzo Music, the brilliant Lorenzo Music, who, when you think of Garfield, you think of that voice. I loved that cartoon growing up. It was great. I loved Lorenzo Music's voice. Having heard it as well as Peter Venkman in The Real Ghostbusters, another great cartoon character. And anyone who has ever owned a cat can relate to Garfield, because you know full well all they care about is eating and sleeping. That is it. Anything else is just stuff that gets in the way. And that's Garfield's cartoon, basically. He does have adventures, yeah, but it's just stuff that gets in the way of his napping and eating. And I love Garfield for that. Plus, it's an absolute cultural 80s icon. You couldn't move without seeing Garfield's face on something, whether it be lunchboxes or, you know, plushies or books and books and books of collected comics. Sadly, it doesn't seem to be popular anymore, does Garfield, and the new cartoon's a bit poop. Mainly because of the fact that Lorenzo Music, sadly, because he's no longer with us, can't do the voice. The films weren't too bad, though. I'm just putting it out there. I still liked him because it was Garfield. So Garfield number 3. Number 2, they're a double act. Can't split them up. Cobra Commander and Destro. I love Cobra Commander and Destro, especially when they're together. They're two characters that work very well on their own, but you kind of need them together for the magic to happen. Because, as I said in my Destro review, Destro despises Cobra Commander and just sees him as this bungling idiot. And Cobra Commander is completely atypical of Napoleon syndrome. He does have the biggest Napoleon complex of all. He genuinely thinks he's the best commander in the world ever. And it is just because he's a short dude with a mask on at the end of the day. He is pretty much a buffoon. Even though he's cool, you know, I do like Cobra Commander's character a lot. And he does come close on more than one occasion to beating the Joes. But yeah, Destro can't bear him. And it's just nice that little interchange between the two. When it's quite obvious that Destro's only with Cobra Commander's forces because he can sell them stuff. Or because he can get some personal power in it for himself. Whereas Cobra Commander knows full well that Destro can't be trusted, and doesn't really like him either, but kind of needs him because he provides the weapons for Cobra. So yeah, it's just a magical little bit of interchange between the two. I absolutely love those characters. Number 1, it is a Transformer, oddly enough, but it's from season 3, and it's Cyclonus. In the movie, Cyclonus first appeared. But he was given little to no character, and I think he only got about 2 or 3 lines in the whole thing. In season 3, all that changed. He became a main character, and a damn good character as well. Voiced by Roger C. Carmel, who, Star Trek fans out there, played Harry Mudd in the original series. His whole character and persona just blossomed in the first few episodes, where it turned out that he was ultra loyal to Galvatron. Despised anybody who wasn't loyal, but at the same time was something I love, an honourable bad guy. Someone, you know, evil is always from the point of view of the person who is evil or not evil. You never think that what you're doing is evil. Hitler never thought that he was evil. You know, he thought he was doing good for the world, and it's the same thing with Cyclonus. He is evil. There is no doubt about it. Everything about him is evil. He will quite happily destroy weaklings just because they're weak. He believes in strength. He believes in the Decepticon Empire. He believes in Galvatron. Even though Galvatron is completely flawed and utterly insane by this point. But Cyclonus still believes in him and is still completely, utterly loyal to him. But will not destroy Ultra Magnus with a shot to the back. You know, he wants to face him in open combat, because he feels that that is the death that Ultra Magnus deserves. Believes without question that he'll kill him. You know, he doesn't think for a second that Magnus will win, but he believes that Magnus deserves a warrior's death. It's kind of that Klingon mentality, I like to call it. It's very, very Klingon, you know, where, or Japanese, it's all tied up in honour. You can be as bad as you like, but you have to be honourable. But it's from your very own skewed perspective. So I absolutely love Cyclonus. Cyclonus, a damn good character. Best character in all the Transformers. Apart from Dreadwind, but he was in the cartoon. Yeah, I absolutely adore Cyclonus. So he is my number 1. Right, well, that's my list. I'm looking forward to reading yours out on the podcast. If you want to do video responses, please feel free. And I shall see you round the bend. Bye-bye for now.